What's up guys, I'm James from the Gambino channel, and I just got done watching the Microsoft E3 2017 conference, and man, there's a lot to talk about. The first thing they did was open up by showing us what the new Xbox console looks like. And like a lot of people guessed, it's very similar to the development kit minus the buttons and screen. It does have a matte black finish, and Microsoft announced that it will be the world's smallest console, and that absolutely blew me away. We're going to get a combination of the world's most powerful Xbox, which is also the world's smallest Xbox. They moved on to let us know that even if you have a 1080p screen, you'll take advantage of things like super sampling. Now, I did use super sampling when I played Battlefield 4 on my PC, and I was using a 1080p monitor, and it did make a huge improvement. It kind of fakes 2 to 4K look. It's not going to give you the real 4K or 2K look, but it kind of fakes it a little bit. It's kind of a form of upscaling, and it definitely does make an improvement that's noticeable. On top of that, people with a 1080p screen will see advantages like isotropic filtering and faster load times. Another benefit is that if you have a lot of accessories for your Xbox One, they will all be compatible with the new system. Which brings us to the name of what the system will be. They're going to call it the Xbox One X, like a lot of people predicted. That is what the name is going to be. I think it's good, and I think it works really well. After giving us that information, Microsoft decided to move on to games. The first trailer shown was Forza Motorsport 7. I also want to add that they physically debuted a Porsche 911 G2 RS 2018, which was a pretty cool little extra. Of course, this tied in with the game because the car is also going to be in the game. The game itself looked unbelievably packed with detail and things like dynamic weather effects, which looked really realistic. Of course, this is a driving game where they always look beautiful, so of course it's going to look great on Scorpio, and I can't wait for this one. The next game that really got me going crazy was Metro Exodus. Now, I'm a huge Metro fan. It's one of the first games I played on PC all the way through, and it's one of the first games I had the physics turned all the way up on, and I learned what physics was. So I'm really excited that this is going to be on Scorpio because I'm hoping it's going to show everyone what PC-like physics are in a game and how important they are, and maybe the bar will be raised and we'll start seeing things like this on console from here on out, because physics just adds so much realism to the game that it makes it so much more immersive. That's definitely going to be a day one purchase for me. They spent a little bit of time talking about Minecraft and that it's going to have a 4K graphic improvement called the Super Duper Graphics Update. And when it finished, they showed all the platforms it was going to be available for, and one of them was VR. So I'm not sure if they're going to have a VR headset or if they're just going to start having VR games on Windows 10, which would also be great because then we could just use our Oculus. We got to see the exclusive Sea of Thieves made by Rare, and I'm always looking forward to what Rare has to put out. This looks like a game that would be a lot of fun to play multiplayer, and I was really impressed with the way the water looked, the detail of how real it looked. It was gorgeous with the light reflecting off of it, and once the battle really broke loose, you could see the waves getting more intense and lightning. It was really impressive to see. Shortly after that demo, we got to see Lucky's Tale. Now, this one really got me thinking because in the past, Lucky's Tale has been an exclusive game to the Oculus Rift virtual reality headset. This is going to be a different version for Xbox because it's called Super Lucky's Tale, and there was no mention of virtual reality, but I find it hard to believe that they're going to make an exclusive Lucky's Tale game for Xbox that doesn't have any VR capabilities. I just don't think they would put any time into making a game like Lucky's Tale as a regular 2D platformer, because Lucky's Tale, the original one, had been made for VR from the ground up. Lucky's Tale has never been anything but a virtual reality game. So if I was going to put my money on it, I would say this is going to be a virtual reality game for the Xbox down the road. I just don't think they really wanted to talk about VR right now because they're pushing out other hardware and they're tiptoeing around it because they have to get one thing out at a time, and it's just not the right moment for VR yet. We finally got that release date for Cuphead, which is going to be September 29th, along with the November 7th release date for Crackdown 3, which I really did want to see more of. We got to see Terry Crews intro the game with a promo, which I thought was great because he's a huge gamer if you didn't know. Unfortunately for me, I love destructibility, and they didn't seem to show much of this off. There was a lot of explosions, but I didn't see any buildings come down or anything like that, so hopefully we'll get more of that later. And as a lot of people predicted, we are getting Xbox original backward compatibility on the Xbox platforms, and Phil Spencer noted that they will have the improvement of looking and playing better. The last game they showed was probably the one I'm most excited for. It's called Anthem. This is a sci-fi genre game that places you in highly customizable exosuits. The trailer showed off a drawline that was like nothing I've ever seen before. We saw the character ripping through the sky in a jetpack, then he'd land and run through a jungle full of very thick vegetation, dive into water, and blast out to the surface to battle a bunch of enemies. Everything looked very next-gen in this title, and it left me a fan of this upcoming hyper-realistic adventure. And I was getting a little bit scared, but they did give us a release date and price for the Xbox One X, and that launch date is going to be November 7th, and the price is going to be $499. Some people may be upset that wanted it to be $399, but we have to be realistic. There's no way they could have charged that little for what they're giving. You have to remember, this is a public company. If they charge so little that they're taking that much of a hit, the stockholders are going to flip their shit. With that said, $499 is an extremely fair price. I guess $450, I was off by $50, but I'm still satisfied for the price. The specs inside of this thing are going to rival my high-end PC, which would cost a lot more money to build. So I do feel like Microsoft is being extremely fair with that that price. I also see that once people physically see the games running in 4K at 60 frames a second with all the particles, HDR, light rays, it's really going to pull people in and make them want to give these new IPs a chance and see what the new Microsoft library is going to be all about. I was personally blown away, and I'm really excited for the Xbox One X and all the games that are coming. But what did you guys think? Were you impressed with the conference? Let me know in the comments section down below. So that's going to wrap it up for this 2017 Microsoft E3 conference. Thank you guys for listening to this video, and I'll see you in the next one.